everyone. Sad news today. Another shooting. Some people are saying because trans people are not treated right. Some people are saying father wasn't good. Father wasn't in the house. You know, it's a white young male with a gun, automatic weapon. But I was listening to a liberal CBS station, and someone was saying, it was just an expert saying, this never could have happened if he or she or it, whatever it is, this transsexual person, if they didn't have an assault weapon. Well, it's not the assault weapon. It's not the AR style rifle, the AK, the SK, the H&K, whatever it is. Assault weapon. It's not. The amount of damage that he inflicted, or she or it, if you took the assault weapon out and used the shotgun and the pistol that he or she or it had, they could have done the same amount of damage. So it's not, the assault weapon is not causing people to go out and shoot. And the video games are not the violent movies or TV or books or magazines. If anybody reads books or looks at magazines anymore, it's not YouTube. It's not TikTok or Snapchat or any of that. What it is, it's something else. Now, is it always mental illness? Probably it's a high amount of that. Sometimes people are just evil and mean. Reverend Dobson, who just passed away on Focus on the Family, he had a thing about you may have bad kids, and we always blame the parents. Maybe the kids are just bad. I don't know. So what I'm saying is, I taught shooting for many, many years. Did I shoot assault weapons? Yes. Did I train people on assault weapons? Yes. Did I train people on pistols? Yes. How about shotguns? Yes. And et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, machine guns, standard rifles, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, all that good stuff, or bad stuff, depending on how you look at it. But he came up and he barricaded doors so that it kept everybody from being able to escape through those doors. And he fired through stained glass. So he maybe got some kind of a barrier between him and his target. But you must understand one simple fact. He was shooting into a church with children sitting in a pew that were unarmed. What could the children do? What could they possibly do about this? Nothing. Pray, cry, not wish to be shot. There's really nothing they could have done to defend themselves. So if he needed an assault rifle, a weapon of war, or whatever, he would need that if on the other side of that glass were maybe law enforcement or military or some kind of security force or armed citizens, just regular old Joe. And if they're going to fire back, then he may need to have a more powerful amount of weaponry. You know, he would like to outgun those that are shooting at him, and he knows he's going to do it. They don't know, so maybe he's going to park his car and use his car as some form of a barricade for protection, covering concealment. Maybe he's going to shoot further back. An assault rifle has a pretty good range. Now, was he standing right out in front of the church? That's what it sounds like. He walked right up and started firing after barricading the doors. So I'm going to tell you right now, right this second, so wipe this from your brain if you are listening to Rachel or any of these people on MSNBC or CNN or CBS or any of that, or even on Fox or Newsmax, whoever's telling you this, Truth Social, whoever's telling you that he needed an assault rifle to carry that out. If he didn't have the assault rifle, he could not have carried it out. And also, you got to remember ammunition. If you have an assault rifle, you have ammunition for it, probably. Shotgun, you have a shotgun. So if you want to know the differences between these weapons and what they're capable of doing, right there in the comment section or that, where the comments are, say, David, I thought that this is this, and I'll say, no, it is not that. I've heard everything from people saying, I heard that someone had guns are unsafe because someone had dropped a revolver and it went off and fired 2 rounds and hit a lady in her hip and then in her chest. Well, no, the man shot her twice. So a lot of the stuff that you hear is not true. Some people say, hey, you know what? I'm not afraid of getting shot by a 22. Really? You're really not afraid of that? If it came down to you're looking down the barrel of a 22 rifle, that little teeny projectile traveling very, very, very fast. And people slingshot with a 22 pistol, a rifle, a 25 automatic. People have died in very small amounts. Because people bleed out or maybe hit something. Would you really want to? You see how small like a 22 round is. If you don't know, look it up. About the size of a sharpened pencil, a little thinner than that. Would you like that in your eye? Traveling thousands of feet per second, right there. No, you don't want that. People go, 32 can't do that, or that round will bounce off of a bunny rabbit at 100 yards or 50 yards. Well, here's some bunny ears, run down range. It's just not true. So you're being lied to when you hear that. People will say that the AR-15 is a machine gun. It's not. They'll say it's a submachine gun. It's not. They'll say, talk about its range. This happened. There's a bullet tumble. Were there any heroes in this? I bet there were. One little boy said that someone jumped on top of him and pretended that the kid's name was Victor, the teacher's name Victor, and that Victor person got shot. Hopefully they're not going to die. Someone else led a bunch of the kids downstairs into the preschool. But you do not need an assault weapon to cause damage. Look at these people that are running cars into people. What about the actress from My Sister Sam, the guy who wanted to bring a gun and shoot her because he was riding her. Okay? What's Pam Dauber, the older lady, and she's from Morgan, and he said, don't ever write them back, or if you write them back, just photograph and sign your name and send it to them. Don't ask them any personal questions. Don't tell them anything about yourself, because they're going to now think that they're in a relationship with you, and they're going to marry you, or they're going to have a relationship with you. So don't ever do that. And he couldn't get up, so he used and that's just the way it is. Driving a car into a street fair, making a bomb. What if he created a couple of pipe bombs and hooked them together? We don't get any ideas. Smash out this thing glass window and throw that in, and it detonates. So it's not the weapon that's doing it; it's the person behind the weapon. Yeah, a lot of people say it's a person pulling the trigger. Well, and we use the term squeezing the trigger. But if you're scared and all that's going on, and you're firing, bang, 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 you may be pulling the trigger on it. Was it modified to fire auto? I don't know. But I'm just saying, an automatic pistol, even an 8-round revolver, even a 6-round revolver, nobody is coming at you to stop you from what you're doing until the police arrive and they neutralize you, or you stick a pistol in your mouth or something. You will not have anyone causing you any threat. There's no threat to you. That's why this is so heinous. Well, it's terrible, it's tragic, but you're shooting little children with guns. Doesn't have to be an assault rifle. Doesn't have to be assault rifle. Maybe we should do something about the person behind the rifle, the pistol, the shotgun, the slingshot, the bow and arrow. Someone was killed with a bow and arrow, and someone was killed with a crossbow. So the weapon itself is not causing this. Could it have been done with a pistol? Just one pistol? Sure. A shotgun? Sure. Yeah, maybe it's got a 5-round magazine, one in the chamber, 5 rounds. Yeah, that's a lot of lead going down range. Yeah, it surely is. So this is a tragic thing. But the more you read into the gaslighting of what happened and why it happened, and it's Trump's fault because he doesn't like transsexuals, it's not. It's not Trump's fault. Do you like Trump? Do you hate Trump? I don't know. I don't know what you feel about Trump, but Trump didn't do it. There's an assault rifle didn't do it. That man in a dress, or tranny, or male to female, or Robin, or Robert, or whatever, Roberto, whatever it wanted to be called, it took its own life. So, just something to think about. So if you have any questions about guns, we can say guns, or rifles. Somebody said, that's not a gun, that's a rifle. It's a gun. That's a machine rifle. That's a shot rifle. There's things other than, not everything's a rifle, folks. This is my rifle, this is my gun. Okay, and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is tragic. We need to do something. We sure do. But we can't really reinforce a church to someone. He didn't get in, I guess. He shot from outside. People said, we got to keep the bad guy from getting in. You don't have to get in. As long as the rounds get in. Terrible. Very sad. I guess 2 are dead. And now they upped the number injured to 19 adults and children. I don't know what the total numbers will be at the end. They don't count the shooter, so 3 died, I guess, that we know of. And terribly tragic. They did say one police officer was off duty. I guess he heard the 911 call, and he rushed in, no vest. because the fact you got to carry it, it's cumbersome on your hip, or you're hiding in a crossover holster or an ankle holster. I don't know where he had. Maybe he just had it in his car. Some officers do carry a sidearm in their vehicle, either locked in the trunk or maybe not locked in the trunk. They'll carry a larger weapon. Maybe they have a 45 or a 9mm or 40 cal. They have something in there to have a little more firepower. But this is terribly tragic. Terribly tragic. Makes me sad, of course. A lot of people tell me, well, you taught shooting. You probably taught people like that. I hope not. Could I? Sure. You could be a driving instructor and teach somebody to drive, and he hops behind the wheel of a U-Haul truck and does terrible things. So terrible things are happening. Very sad. A lot of bad stuff lately. We had the little baby boy that died in San Bernardino County, 7 months old. We had a kid shot at I guess he was shot at a gas station with his family. Just was standing out there. So a lot of terrible things happening. A lot of trouble. If you believe in prayer, pray. We could use it. But blaming it on Trump and blaming it on some 1940s technology rifle, 30s probably, not really 1930s technology. That's not what happened. It was not Trump, and it was not the automatic assault weapon. Take everyone. Hopefully you have a better day than many of those out there.